Good morning, everyone. My name is Hector Hernandez, and I'm glad you guys are here once again. Yesterday, I asked you guys a very, very famous question. What is your biggest fear? It's interesting. We're talking about fear, and we're talking about one of the biggest, most common questions that we probably heard in our lives. I said that today I wanted to share a story about me, about my fear. And growing up, I had many talents, I had a lot of friends, but I was afraid of one thing. This fear, part of it, had to do with my low self esteem. I was afraid to not be accepted, which, if some of you know me, you'll be like, you really felt or thought that people wouldn't accept you? Yeah. Growing up, mentally, I thought I was just a normal kid. But in school, I was very small, like small, short, and I love basketball. And there was times where my dad used to drop us off, me and my two brothers, and we used to play basketball, especially me, right at 7 o'clock in the morning, and spend a whole entire morning playing basketball. By the time it was time to go back to class. I was sweaty, started smelling, of course, in that teenager life, your body start changing, all these chemicals, and it kind of affected me, especially around girls. They didn't want me to be around because I stink. That was the famous word for Hector Hernandez. Man, you stink. Man, you stink. But actually, for me, it was normal. I'm like, yeah, but that's normal. It's coming out of my, yeah, that's normal. Next thing I know, they were not, of course, this is a game that kids play in school. Like, sometimes they bully, sometimes they just think it's fun, sometimes they think it's, yeah, oh, you look like this, you look like that, nobody wants to be with you. And because I was such a good kid, always with a smile, with a positive energy, deep, deep, deep inside, it was leaving its mark. Like, people telling me the same thing the same day. Oh, Hector and so, Hector and so. And her reaction was, ooh, Hector? No, no, no. And little by little, it was just killing my self-esteem, making sure that, hey, look, man, you are not enough. You are not enough. You will not be enough. And at an early age, I was pleased with the things I was doing. I was still popular. I was still, recognized as a very, very educated kid. But inside of me, I felt like there was gonna be a point where who I was, or how I was gonna take care of myself, or how I looked, I wasn't gonna be accepted. So deep, deep, deep inside, I was afraid to even show out because people be like, oh, is that who you really are? And I didn't want to deal with that responsibility of being rejected. And like I mentioned, my personality, it is a very good one, but it definitely gets in the way when trying to accept the reality, how you really feel. Today, fear is no longer there. Now, I spend probably a couple bucks just to get a pretty good, decent cologne, and no matter where I go, I try to make sure I smell good. Now, I don't want to hear that I stink. I don't want to hear that, Hector, wow, you still the same kid? No, not anymore, thanks to you guys. But it's not about kids bullying me. It's not about me smelling good or smelling bad. It was about me understanding that whatever happens growing up, it did affect me, but I was able to come to realize that I need to accept who I am before whatever people say. So at the end of these questions that we ask ourselves, like this one, what is your biggest fear? For me, what's acceptance? For you, out of so many things, whatever it is, we had to start taking time for this. We need to figure it out. What is the best way to face our fear? Because sometimes, for me, it was probably kids bullying me for something that I didn't know, like stink. Oh yeah, yeah. But there are things that we also do to ourselves, and we stop ourselves because we are the ones making ourselves fear for whatever that might not be even there. And it's all because of the past. It's all because the way our chemicals, our brain, our neurons just start moving around, and sometimes we can't help ourselves. But that's why it is so important for you and I to analyze why I do this, why I do that, why, I know that my parents, or I know my friends growing up, or my teachers, or like there are so many things that trigger fear within ourselves to not be able to see all the things because we've been caught up with being ourselves. And at the end, it comes down to that. Like, you have this perfect, unique personality. If you like to stay by yourself, but you are very smart, and you are, focusing on your classes and all these things, like, man, that's great. I wish I had some of that. I was a kid that was just not caring about classes. I was a kid that it was all about sports, and that's it. Sports. We all have unique personalities for a reason. We are able to build communities. We are able to build relationships that there's no boundaries. It's just being yourselves. That is the most beautiful thing we can ever do. And this is my focus at the end of these questions. That whatever it is, we're going to be focusing on fear. But whatever it is that we are struggling with, at the end, there's a reason, there's a purpose. Because it's going to make you stronger. It's going to make you even better, even greater. And at the end of the day, there will be no one telling you who you are, or how you look, or how you smell. Because all that is noise. All that doesn't really matter. You are who you are because you are deciding to be that. So be the best. Be the one that takes control of your life, of your thoughts. And what people say, oh really? Thank you, man. But I'm better than that. Show people that you are secure about yourself. Because at the end, you are a champ. You have been through so much in your life that I'm sure if that other person been through it, I wonder how well they've been holding up right now. Not to say that they would have done worse, but that's why it's better just to focus on ourselves instead of pointing out somebody else. So tomorrow, what I'm going to start doing is breaking down this question. What is your biggest fear? Tomorrow we're going to focus about the word what. What actually means, not just in this question, but what is it that what teaches us? That way we're able to see a bigger picture so we can understand what is actually our biggest fear. Till later.